We can't just throw that word around because that word is like, it's definitive. GOAT isn't, oh, you're amazing, you're good. No, GOAT is not. You are the greatest of all time. So if you score a double against Elche or Eibar or Lugo, you can't just say you're the GOAT. That makes you look stupid. And that detracts from the power of that term and that word known as the GOAT. So if Messi had done this where you've now bowled in a World Cup final, and let's just say he was bowled in a World Cup semi, he won in a World Cup final, there would be nothing to discuss. There'd be nothing to debate. There'd be absolutely nothing to debate because there are two hallmarks of excellence in football, two key hallmarks. Because what do? You have club football and you have international football. Both are important. As much as Twitter will like to blame it on everything, both are important. So to be the best, you have to show your proficiency in a World Cup and a proficiency in a Champions League. Hence why people have to have a discussion about Zidane. Because Zidane he scored twice in a World Cup final, and he scored perhaps one of the greatest goals we've ever seen in a Champions League final. That was the winning goal. But the reason why the Zidane thing is what Messi has done is crazy, and Messi is just a much crazier player. He's a much crazier player. So if Messi was to be exceptional and do what he did for Barcelona, but he did for Argentina, so let's say he what he did in the groups. He balled in that semi, he balled in that final. He'd be like, there is nothing to discuss. This is the definitive article. He has delivered the requirements we need to say you are the greatest. Because you've shown greatness in the club game and you've shown greatness internationally. Because for Zidane, it's weird. Because Zidane's greatness at international wasn't that 98 World Cup. That was a technicality. His greatness was the 2006 World Cup, specifically the game against Brazil. So it's like you have to take the goals in the World Cup 98 final, the Champions League final against Leverkusen, and the way he did in the 2006, and that is obviously what makes him a horseman. But for Messi specifically, if he just bowled and gave it, that would be huge. So for Argentina, they would view him differently now. And many people in Argentina would now say, aha, there would now be a genuine choice between, are you a Maradona guy or are you a Messi guy? And guys will say, it's amazing what Maradona did for Napoli, it's amazing what he did in 1986. But look at what Messi has done for such a long period of time as a football player. So that's married with if he delivered the World Cup. That you would argue is perhaps a stronger argument than Maradona, because Maradona, amazing what he did for Napoli and so forth, but it wasn't for the longer period of time. So Messi's case is so strong because you've got longevity, you've got consistency, you've got performance, you've got scoring in clutch games against Real Madrid in that semi, and started scoring, of course, in two separate Champions League finals. And if he now puts the World Cup into it as well, doing it for his country as well, leading them, being the main man, and delivering when it's most mattered, there would be no debate or discussion. Because so whenever anybody says that Messi is the GOAT, I can always fire back. I can always respond by saying, where are his World Cup essentials? So if he had that, there would be nothing I could say. And I say, specifically if he scored in the semi and the final, and he bowled in the semi and the final, there'd be no discussion, So that would now be Argentina's third World Cup. So they now make them two behind Brazil. And the significance, that's why I started by it was in Brazil. The significance of Argentina winning that in Brazil would have been profound. And it's almost as if like the football elder just said, let's chill. Because that's too many L's for a country to take. So not only are you saying that Brazil now not only do they get breastfed 7-0, but their fierce rivals win the World Cup on their home soil. That's too much. That would be way too much to take. So, and I think for Germany, that would have been like, this generation never really delivered. The generation really started back in 2010, with, Ozil, Khedira, Shola, Mola, and so forth, Lam, whom else, they never did deliver. Boateng, they never did deliver. And that would be a great disappointment, specifically how good they were in 2010. And how good they were as well at the World Cup. And beating Brazil the way that they did to then go ahead and lose, then that team would have been lost in time. And then that now takes away from how we now have to look at a Neuer and Mamula with what they did with Bayern, but not able to win a World Cup. But I think, and here's the thing, which is why I just think that everything happens for a reason. So if Messi now wins that World Cup, what more is there to do? To watch the rest of this content as well as other content, Crank, think about becoming a Patreon member. Visit patreon.com/halfhope or click on the link in the description box below to gain access to more of this content, Crack, while supporting your boy Double H. Peace!